Good afternoon, Steve Hailstone here. It is mid-afternoon, not sure exactly, probably 2 something. It is Monday, the 9th of July. I just completed 3 miles in the warm sun. Not as warm, not as humid as it could be, but warm enough and humid enough for me for this time of day. So, I went out I intended to run today, but I often intend to run and then don't get it done. Today, my motivation was tense conversations. I had a lot of technical snafus we encountered yesterday. And so trying to get to the bottom as who can do something about this and why haven't we done this before? Leads to tense conversations. So I literally needed to just get out, shake out the tension, get ready for more because, well, we're meeting about it when I get back into the office. But for now, I'm on a cool down. Had the nicest thing happen, never happened before outside of a race, and that is I'm heading down the road and fella drives up, hands me a cold bottle of water. So, very nice and neighborly. So I was running down Mill Pond Road, and it was on that road. I have my bottle of water. So, a very nice and neighborly thing to do. I don't think I've ever done anything like that. How about you? So, well, a little report on the past few days. Last week we were host to 2 middle school boys from China named, well, they picked American names, Ray and Eric. Ray was a character. His English was pretty good. And Eric was a little quieter, he wasn't as quick with his English and sometimes got stuck for words. Kind of quiet, so even if he did find the right word, you didn't necessarily know it. But we enjoyed our week with them. We went bowling with them one night. I went to fireworks. Had a game night with friends who had also taken some students in who were girls, about the same age. I think all of these kids were classmates. And their schedule for the day was we'd feed them breakfast, and then they would go and have 3 hours of English as a second language. And then they went on some sort of adventure. So one day they went to a cave, to an art studio, to the Crayola factory, and things like that. So they had picnics and other things along the way. And then we packed them a lunch and then also fed them dinner. All except for one day, I think. Wednesday, 4th of July. So it was a really nice time. And when it was time to say goodbye, I was dropping off the boys, and the boy known as Eric stood still next to me. I could tell he was kind of quiet and pensive. A little bit later, tears were rolling down his face, and he was crying, and he gave me a hug. That was so sweet. And the other boy, who maybe not as emotive, I could see his eyes were red, and maybe just because his friend was tearing up, he started to tear up too. So it was a great experience, and we'd probably do it again. So, what else is going on? Our second son celebrated his first anniversary yesterday, so he was looking forward to eating the top of the wedding cake. Not sure where they stored that. But we had to eat the top of our wedding cake early because we were moving from Maryland to Indiana, and just ate it before we left, knowing it wouldn't take the trip. What else is going on here at the Hailstones? Not too much. I did get a new pair of Merrell Vapor Gloves, version 3. I really like them. It's funny, I don't know if anybody else has had this experience, but once upon a time, I used to wear a size 9 or 9.5 shoe for years. And then the summer I ran barefoot. When I went back in, I was especially looking for shoes that gave my toes more room to move. So I was really lucky and found a pair of Merrell Barefoots for really cheap at a Ross store. In fact, I'm wearing those now. I've been wearing them now for 5 years. And they're showing their wear after all of this time. But really, they've worn really well, and they're tough. So I got my new Merrells, and I ordered a size 11.5. I have a pair of Nikes, I think, that are 12s. Nikes run a little narrow and short, so I always order large. And my wife was like, really? Come on, you wore 9s, 9.5s. What are you doing buying such big shoes? And I would say, well, I just want to make sure my toes have plenty of room to spread out and not be so crunched. So we were at a store yesterday, and I saw one of those, not the little metal contraptions that you go to a shoe store in, but just painted on the floor. It was a sizing chart. And I put my foot down, and it said 11.5. I thought, well, okay. Get flatter shoes without the arch support and run barefoot for a while, and good grief. So two and a half sizes larger. But yeah, I try to put on narrower shoes. If I even try to put on a pair of 10.5s, they feel too small. Or depending on the design, even 11s feel really small just because they're not wide. So I haven't broken my new Vapor Gloves into a run yet, just wearing them around, getting my feet used to them, though they're really hardly anything to get used to because they almost feel like putting on a slipper. But anyway, I still have these to wear out some more. And still running in a pair of Nike Airs that are suitable. I usually wear those when I am running a 5K. So, all right, well, it is July 9th already. Hard to believe. The year is just flying by. We had quite the sweltering weather last week with high humidity and high temperatures. And then Friday afternoon, it just dried out so much. It felt so much better. I think the high today is supposed to be 89, and then we're going into the low 90s. Not as bad as last week, and not as bad as my sister. I think on Friday or Saturday, she's in Chino, California. She said it's 114, and we're forecast 118. So, ouch. That is really, really scorching. Didn't get all that cool at night, so all of those California runners down in the Southland, whew, hope you're being careful. I know it's broken some, the temperatures have. I don't know how much of that affected somebody like Trisha Blau. I think she's up in the Bay Area, maybe Oakland. Yeah, not sure what the temperatures were up the coast, but they're usually better on the coast anyway, just because of the sea breeze. Unless it's an off the landmass breeze, then it can get pretty warm. So, not much else for the start of this week. Not any weather events really in the forecast, so we should have a nice week. I hope to get out. Today's Monday, I did. Wednesday or Thursday, I'll try to get out. And then again Saturday. So, just doing my walk cool down, and then I need to go do some post-run stretching just to keep myself from getting too tightened up. And as I mentioned before, going into another meeting where it'll be a little tense, possibly. I hope not. Hope I can help keep heads cool and have a productive meeting. So, All right, well, that's it from this end of my world and my bottle of water to yours. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye now.